Before we begin, take a moment. If stories about resilience, betrayal, and quiet strength resonate with you, stay with this one until the end. And if you find meaning in it, remember to like, follow, or subscribe for more stories like this. The glass doors of Rowan and Pierce closed behind Elena Hart with a soft, final click. The sound lingered. Not loud, not dramatic, just permanent. The lobby was pristine, polished stone floors, leather chairs arranged with surgical precision. Framed certificates lined the walls, celebrating decades of success built on other people's endings. This was not a place for emotions. It was a place for conclusions. Elena paused at the reception desk. Her fingers rested calmly on the strap of her bag. She had practiced this stillness. Straight shoulders, neutral expression, controlled breathing. She wore a beige coat, tailored and modest, falling just below her knees. The fabric was structured for a reason. Underneath, a loose dress. Soft, forgiving. 5 months could remain invisible, if you planned carefully. She spoke her name. The receptionist typed without looking up. Nails clicked, phone lines buzzed, an internal call was placed. "Conference room 3, the receptionist said at last. "Second door on the right. Mr. Vale is already there." Elena nodded. "Thank you." Her heels echoed down the corridor. Each step carried a reminder. Don't hesitate. Don't rush. Don't look back. The hallway was bright, almost sterile. Glass walls reflected her image back at her in fragments. Hair pulled into a low knot. No makeup. Eyes steady. She didn't look broken. She looked finished. At the door, she stopped. One breath. Her chest rose gently, sharing space with another heartbeat, smaller and quieter, hidden beneath layers of fabric and resolve. Then she opened the door. The conference room was flooded with light. A long table stretched across the space, dark wood polished to a mirror shine. At the far end sat Marcus Vale. He did not stand. He wore a charcoal suit, crisp shirt, perfect posture. Everything about him was intentional. On either side of him sat 2 attorneys, faces neutral, hands folded. This was business, not grief. Marcus's eyes traveled over her, quick, calculated, as if assessing a problem already solved. Elena walked forward, pulled out a chair, and sat. Her coat fell neatly into place. The table concealed her lower body. Her bag rested on her lap. Nothing was out of order. Across from her, Renee Caldwell, her attorney, offered a subtle nod. "You're not alone." Marcus spoke first. "Let's keep this simple." His voice was smooth, detached. "No need to make this more difficult than it already is." Elena met his gaze. "I agree." For Marcus, simplicity meant control. For Eleanor, it meant release. The attorneys began reviewing the documents, assets, accounts, properties. Words flowed past her like background noise. She had read everything already. Marcus leaned back in his chair, fingers laced, visibly bored. Then he interrupted. "You look different." Elena didn't respond. "Different how?" Renee asked calmly. Marcus ignored her. His attention stayed on Elena. "Lighter," he said. "Clearer." A faint smile curved his mouth. Once she had mistaken that smile for affection. Now she recognized it. Possession. "Seeing someone else?" he asked. The room went still. Elena lifted her eyes. "That's no longer your concern." Something hardened behind Marcus's expression. He scoffed. "Fine. Let's finish." The folder slid across the table. A pen followed. "Sign," Marcus said. "And this is done." Renee nudged the pen closer. "Here and here." Elena leaned forward. Then, the pen slipped. It hit the floor with a sharp click. The sound echoed unnaturally loud. One of the lawyers moved to retrieve it, but the pen had already rolled toward Elena's side. She stood to pick it up. Her coat caught. just for a moment. Buttons strained. Fabric shifted. Elena turned instinctively, and the truth revealed itself. The unmistakable curve. The gentle roundness. 5 months. The room froze. Elena straightened slowly. Marcus's chair scraped backward. "What is that?" he demanded. She didn't rush. She removed the coat completely. Let it fall over the back of the chair. One hand rested over her stomach. "I'm pregnant," she said calmly. 5 months. Silence swallowed the room. Marcus laughed once. Sharp, disbelieving. "That's impossible." "It isn't. We tried for years," he snapped. "We," Elena repeated softly. "Whose is it?" he demanded. She met his eyes. "Yours." The color drained from his face, then returned in fury. "If it were mine, you wouldn't be sitting here," Elena said quietly, handing me divorce papers like faulty merchandise. A memory surfaced. A dark apartment. A glass raised in dismissal. "You're defective." Back in the room, Marcus stared at her. "When?" he asked. "Before you moved out," she replied. "Before you started seeing her." Something fractured in him. "Then don't do this," he said suddenly. "We can fix it." "For the baby?" Elena smiled faintly. "You don't want a family," she said. "You want control." Renee closed the file. "We're proceeding," she said firmly. Marcus slammed his hand on the table. "Shut up." Renee didn't flinch. "You don't speak to me that way." Marcus turned back to Elena. "What are you going to do?" he snarled. "Take my child away from me?" Elena's voice remained steady. "I'm raising my child in a place where their mother is never called defective." "I'll take the baby," Marcus snapped. Elena met his stare. "Try. If this story moved you, stay with it. What happens next will change everything. Follow, like, or subscribe so you don't miss the papers were signed. Not dramatically, not with raised voices or shattered objects. Just ink on a page. A quiet end to a loud marriage." Elena placed the pen down gently. The sound was soft, final. Renee gathered the documents, sliding them into her folder with careful precision. "We're done here," she said. Marcus remained standing. His hands were braced against the table, knuckles pale. "You don't get to walk away," he said. Elena rose slowly. "I already have." She picked up her coat, didn't put it on, just folded it over her arm. Marcus stepped toward her. "You think you've won something," he said bitterly. "You think this makes you strong?" Elena paused at the door. She turned back. "I don't need to win," she said quietly. "I just needed to leave." She walked out. The elevator ride down felt longer than the one up. The silence inside the metal box pressed against her ears. For the first time that day, Elena exhaled fully. Her shoulders relaxed. Her hand drifted to her stomach. "It's okay," she whispered. "We're safe." The doors opened. Daylight spilled into the lobby. And just like that, the building no longer held her. Elena moved into a small apartment across town. It wasn't impressive, but it was hers. 2 rooms, pale walls, wide windows that let the morning light in without permission. She liked that. The silence there felt different. Not empty. Peaceful. She unpacked slowly. Each item placed with intention. Her books went on the lowest shelf. Comfortable shoes by the door. A single framed photo on the bedside table. Not of Marcus, not of a wedding. Just a photo of the ocean. Something endless. Something that stayed. Her days found a rhythm. Morning walks. Doctor's appointments. Soft music playing while she folded laundry. She learned her body again, learned the quiet ways it spoke. The baby moved more now. Gentle reminders. I'm here. Some nights, fear crept in. What if he really tries? What if he takes this to court? But fear no longer paralyzed her. It sharpened her. She met with Renee regularly. Custody laws, documentation, boundaries. Elena listened, prepared. Marcus would not catch her unready again. He called. Once. She didn't answer. He texted. Long messages. Angry ones. Then apologetic. Then threatening. Then silent. Elena saved everything. Screenshots. Voicemails. Dates. Timestamps. Evidence. Silence was her reply. One afternoon she ran into him unexpectedly. At a cafe. Marcus froze when he saw her. His gaze went immediately to her stomach. "You're really doing this," he said. Elena adjusted her coat calmly. "I am." "You can't shut me out," he snapped. "That's my child." Elena looked at him steadily. "You lost the right to demand," she said. "You can ask." He laughed bitterly. "I won't beg." "Then we're done here." She walked past him. This time she didn't look back. That night Elena stood by the window. City lights blinked below. Her reflection stared back at her. Stronger, wiser, no longer shrinking. She rested both hands over her stomach. "I promise you," she whispered, "you will never have to earn love." The baby shifted, as if answering. Somewhere across the city, Marcus sat alone in his apartment. Surrounded by silence he could not control. For the first time, the narrative wasn't his, and it terrified him. Elena turned away from the window. She turned off the light, and for the first time in years, she slept without fear of the morning. The silence did not last. It never did with Marcus. 2 weeks after the papers were signed, the letter arrived. Cream-colored envelope. Embossed name. A return address Elena recognized instantly. A law firm Marcus favored when he wanted to intimidate. Elena didn't open it right away. She made tea first, let the water boil, let her hands stay steady. Only then did she slide a finger beneath the seal. The letter was brief, cold, efficient. Marcus was seeking temporary custody rights, unborn or not. The wording was deliberate, possessive, as if the child were already an asset to be divided. Elena folded the letter once, then again. She didn't cry. She called Renee. This was always coming. Renee said calmly. He doesn't know how to lose quietly. What happens now? Elena asked. We prepare, Renee replied. And we don't underestimate him. Elena didn't. She never would again. The court filings escalated quickly. Marcus alleged emotional instability, questioned Elena's independence, suggested she was acting irrationally out of resentment. Renee dismantled every claim with precision. Medical records, employment history, witness statements, a paper trail of calm, capable decisions. Marcus, on the other hand, grew reckless. He called again, left voicemails that slipped past controlled and into furious. You're doing this to punish me. You're turning my own child against me. You think you're smarter than me. Elena saved them all. The first hearing was scheduled for a Tuesday morning, gray sky, low clouds, the kind of day that pressed down on the city. Elena dressed carefully. Nothing dramatic, nothing fragile. A soft sweater, comfortable shoes. Confidence didn't need sharp edges. Inside the courtroom, Marcus looked different, less polished, more restless. His suit fit too tightly, his jaw stayed clenched. When he saw Elena, something flared in his eyes. Anger and something else. Fear. Marcus spoke first. He painted himself as blind-sided. A man denied his legacy, a husband betrayed. Elena listened without interruption, her hands folded calmly in her lap. When it was her turn, Renee stood. She didn't raise her voice. She didn't need to. She spoke of patterns, control, dismissal, language used behind closed doors. She played the voicemails. The courtroom went quiet. Marcus's voice echoed back at him, unfiltered, unforgiving. Elena did not look at him. She didn't need to. The judge leaned forward, eyes sharp. Questions followed. Direct ones, uncomfortable ones. Marcus stumbled. He had not prepared for scrutiny, only obedience. The ruling was temporary. No custody decisions until after birth. No direct contact, all communication to go through legal counsel. Marcus's face tightened. This wasn't victory, but it wasn't surrender either. Outside the courthouse, Marcus approached her. Renee stepped between them instantly. "Don't," she warned. Marcus ignored her. "You think this is over?" he hissed. Elena met his gaze. "This is the part where you learn," she said calmly, "that you don't own everything you touch." His mouth opened, then closed. For once, he had nothing to say. That night, Elena sat on the edge of her bed. The city hummed beyond the window. Her body ached, not with fear, with exhaustion. She placed one hand over her stomach. "You're doing great," she whispered. "So am I," the baby kicked. Firm, assured. Across town, Marcus stared at his phone. Unread messages, unanswered calls. A future slipping beyond his reach. For the first time, he realized something chilling. Control was not guaranteed, and loss was not theoretical. Elena turned off the light. She lay down slowly. Tomorrow would bring another challenge, another fight. But tonight, she rested. Because strength, she was learning, wasn't loud, it was consistent. The call came just after midnight. Elena woke slowly, disoriented at first, her body heavy with sleep. Then the pain registered. Low, sharp, unmistakable. She sat up, one hand gripping the edge of the bed, the other instinctively moving to her stomach. Another wave followed, stronger, closer. "It's time," she whispered. Not in fear, in acceptance. The hospital lights were too bright, too white. They reflected off polished floors and stainless steel surfaces, turning everything clinical and unreal. Elena focused on her breathing, in, out. Each contraction demanded her full attention. The nurse spoke calmly. "You're doing great." Elena nodded. She already knew. Hours passed in fragments. Pressure, release, voices fading in and out. And then, a cry, sharp, alive. The sound cut through everything. Tears filled Elena's eyes as they placed the baby on her chest. Warm, small, perfect. Her entire world narrowed to that moment. "That's my baby," she whispered. The baby's fingers curled instinctively, grasping her skin, holding on. By morning, the legal messages began. Marcus had found out. He always did. He demanded access, threatened emergency motions, claimed rights, Renee responded swiftly. Court orders were clear. Marcus was not allowed contact. Not today, not now, not like this. Elena turned her phone face down. This moment was not his. 2 days later, the hearing resumed. Marcus arrived late, disheveled, desperate. The judge listened, then ruled. Full custody to Elena. Supervised visitation only, pending psychological evaluation. Marcus stared ahead, stunned. He had lost. Not dramatically, not explosively, but completely. Elena left the courthouse, holding her baby close. The world outside felt different, lighter, as if something heavy had finally lifted. She didn't look for Marcus. She didn't need closure. She had clarity. Weeks passed, then months. Life settled into quiet routines. Midnight feedings, soft laughter, tiny milestones. Elena found strength in the ordinary. She returned to work slowly, on her terms. She built a life that didn't require permission. One evening, Elena stood by the window again, her baby asleep in her arms. City lights shimmered below. She kissed the baby's forehead. "You are loved," she whispered. Not conditionally, not temporarily. The baby sighed in sleep. Safe. Somewhere else, Marcus sat alone. A man surrounded by what he once controlled and haunted by what he lost. Elena closed the curtains. She turned off the light and stepped fully into the life she had chosen. If this story resonated with you, follow or subscribe for more stories like it.